Hello and welcome. Thanks for taking the time to listen to this ABB Sustainability podcast. My name is Katrina Corradine, and I'm the Energy Industry's Northern Europe HSE and Sustainability Manager. Today, I'm going to be talking to Johan Granstrom about a groundbreaking project that he's been working on. This is a truly innovative project looking at energy management in the smart city space. Skellefteå is a small city close to the Arctic Circle in northern Sweden, and you might know it as the location where Northvolt is building its first factory to produce low carbon batteries, or as the home of the multinational company Boliden. Ewan, I'm really looking forward to hearing more about this story. So let's start by getting to know a little bit about you and the background to this project.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. So, I'm based here in northern Sweden and working with smart city applications throughout Northern Europe within ABB. So, this particular project, Sora Culture House, is a multi purpose meeting place in the heart of the city of Skellefteå in Sweden. And it holds spaces for the city library, concert halls, hotel, exhibition space, as well as cultural space. When they started the project, they wanted to rethink the concept and propose of buildings from a sustainability perspective.
That's really interesting. I mean, it sounds like this building is a valuable asset to the city. So, can you expand a little bit more on how the concept and the purpose really builds in the sustainability perspective?
Well, everything is done with sustainability in mind, starting with the materials. Its 20 floors make it to one of the world's tallest building made of wood. But it also means that they have been rethinking the building's energy model. We wanted to challenge the orthodoxy on existing business models and sustainability models for buildings and turn Sora Culture House into an asset for the city from an energy perspective. Very few buildings in the world have actually done this. Further on, it is taking sustainability to the next level by addressing all three dimensions long term and with scalability in mind.
So, when we think of sustainability in buildings, we tend to think of solar panels on the roof and switching the lights off when not needed. But Culture House takes this much further. Can you tell me what this entails?
Yeah, sure. Well, normally in a building, we try to optimize how to use energy based on what's best for the building and what will be the most cost efficient for the operator. With Sora Culture House, we have reinvented things at a system level. Everything in the building related to electrical distribution, such as transformers and switchgears, is all connected, including a battery based energy storage, four facade PV solar installations, building automation system, heat pump, and district heating. On top of that, we have added a brain to the building so it can make its own decisions based on forecasts, historical, and real time data. We have also added a big couple of ears to collect data and understand the building surrounding, and also to react to the city's need at any given time. Finally, we have added a big heart. The system makes decisions not just on profit and saving money, but on what's best for sustainability and the city's energy needs. And new times need new business models. In this case, the energy company and the property owner designed a business model where everybody becomes winners by sharing the created value streams. Energy as a service becomes the true enabler.
What were the main challenges involved in the delivery of this project?
Well, first of all, it's lots of parties involved in this kind of projects. It's one to build, one to operate, one to develop, one to maintain, and even more parties on the energy integration side. And there were also two divisions from ABB involved, energy industries and electrification. And it required lots of collaboration to implement sophisticated technologies in a brand new way. In Sweden, the energy economy is changing. Today, we have abundant natural resources such as hydropower and is a net exporter. But we need to bake in sustainability to prepare for a future when northern Sweden is a big importer, due to the fact that about 110 billion euros will be invested in this region, and the biggest share is for energy intense industries. Another challenge is balancing sustainability targets against conventional approach to pricing for electricity.
So, given the complexity of this project, what made ABB a suitable partner?
Well, first of all, sustainability is what we do. Our sustainability strategy 2030 is built upon four main pillars: enabling a low carbon society, preserve resources, promoting social progress, integrity, and transparency. And this particular project relates a lot to our commitment under the first pillar, which means that besides achieving carbon neutrality in our own business, we will also support our customers in reducing their annual CO2 emission by at least 100 megatons, which is the equivalent to the annual emissions of about 30 million combustion cars. Secondly, our existing relationships with the local energy company Skellefteå Kraft, owned by the municipality, held workshops to figure out how Sara Culture House can fit into the existing energy infrastructures. Thirdly, the fact that ABB is addressing the entire value chain for energy, ranging from power generation, distribution, energy conversion, and demand side management. Finally, we do have an impeccable track record on conceiving and delivering sustainability projects through leveraging technology.
Thanks, Ewan. So, what's next for Sarah Culture House? And thinking about the bigger picture, what are the ramifications for other potential building sustainability projects elsewhere?
Well, the first phase is done, but the work has just started. We have a 5-year agreement to continually optimize everything that we can together with the customer. Right now, we are working with machine learning technologies to utilize data we already have. The next step is to build a thermal model of the building. And the system level approach is essential, including the complete value chain of energy, not only moving power and energy from A to B, rather bi-directional ecosystem of energy. And it does has wider implication for cities. Sora Culture House is a landmark for what can be done, and more can be done with existing installed base of buildings. In Trondheim, Norway, we have optimized a cluster of connected buildings that can exchange excess energy between each other. The end goal is to optimize cluster of buildings for resilience at a micro or even nano level, but add capabilities to collaborate with the grid and the bigger picture. Further on, energy transparency and flexibility between energy carriers is of essence to support the transition.
Most projects encounter some kind of setback along the way, particularly very complex ones like the Sarah Culture House. What have been the main lessons learned here?
Well, it may sound a bit cheesy, but collaboration is key, and collaborating early on, not just on a building wide basis, but citywide. Aversion to risk makes it difficult to try new things and get buy in, which is why a joint vision and targets are essentials to create the framework and support for the decision making process. And here in Sweden, we are already seeing the dial shift. Today, 23 cities in Sweden have signed a climate contract to transform to net zero by 2040. Sara Culture House is just the start of that journey, but you gotta start somewhere. And the solutions developed are built with scalability in mind. Further on, in contrast of the conventional way of constructing energy solutions, we have given the building a framework and ecosystem to promote incremental innovation, meaning that it will get better and better over time. Finally, there's no reason why the new business and sustainability model we have pioneered here cannot be scaled up across multiple buildings and even whole cities, changing how we think about energy in buildings.
So, Ewan, when we think about energy models in the future, we tend to focus on the energy intensive industries. But from what I understand, it's equally, if not more important, to consider and plan for the energy demands of cities. What is your vision of how that might look in the future?
I believe in providing a world for future generation that is at least as healthy and prosperous as the one we inherited, which indeed will demand solutions and plans to create sustainable urban development around the globe. Because this is where 64% of global energy consumption and 70% of global carbon dioxide emissions are happening. And I believe that technology and collaboration will help us change that.
Thank you so much, Ewan. It's an inspiring example of the work ABB is doing to enable a low carbon economy. From what we've heard today, there are three things to take away: collaboration, early and with all the stakeholders; challenging the norm in terms of business models and relationships; and turning sustainability into business, living ABB's vision of embedding sustainability into everything we do. Thank you for joining me, your host, Katrina Corradine, and my guest, Ewan Granstrom, today on this podcast about the Sara Culture House in Sweden. Please join us again for future episodes when we will explore other aspects of ABB's sustainability journey. Thank you.